Guys, it's a beautiful day today. Let's get started on that rear diff cover and that pinion seal. Alright guys, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but that's where it's leaking, from right here. And you can see it's been slinging it all up there. So this is where it comes down to the science, I guess you want to call it. Basically, there's a preset on the gears and stuff inside. So you have to count how many threads are here. Most people mark it. I cannot find my pin, so I'm going to have to scratch a mark in. But I count 1, 2, 3, 4 threads that it's on, that are sticking out. So when I put it back on, I want that many out, so I put it right back at the preset that I have it on the preload. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scratch like this and this where it lines up, so I know when I tighten it up, that's where it needs to be, is right there. So I hope that makes sense. Danny Johnson has a good video on this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get that off and get to going. Sorry about the light. I don't know why my phone's doing that. It ain't going to let me win today. But anyway, there we go. When you undo the drive shaft, you can just let it hang, and it's 4 12-point 12mm bolts. And I had a ratchet wrench that I used. I was able to get all of them without spinning the drive shaft. And I'm just basically using the X pipe to support it. Alright guys, again, sorry for the lighting and being jerky. I'm kind of on my back underneath the car. But now you get your pullers, you put them on that flange. And this is a spline gear. It'll come right off. I mean, it's very minimal. I'm turning it with hand and it's coming off. I don't know. It won't focus in there because of the freaking light behind the car. But yeah, I can turn this by hand and it's slowly walking out. So it's not anything extremely hard. Just getting that first initial budge. So guys, you're only supposed to get a little trickle out. Well, mine's draining the whole entire fluid out. Now, if you look, somebody put RTV on this. Why did they do that? Well, the light's not going to get it. I am so aggravated by the light right now. But the seal is in backwards. Alright guys, I'm going to see if I can explain this. The seal gets drove in to the pinion housing. This lip stops it on the flange right here. Okay, that seal should be like that. These people have installed this previous seal backwards. This lip, this ring, is inside the housing. No wonder it's not sealing. It's not even the right one, and they drove it in backwards. And then they used RTV to try to stop it from leaking. Like, who does that? Wow. Alright, that's how the seal should be in. You can see the lip is on the edge there, not on the inside. So I'm going to install this back. I marked how it was. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I'm going to put it back the same way, and then remember how many threads, how many turns it took and how many threads, and I'm going to bring it back down to that spec. And then I'll be able to go to the other side and start the actual diff cover. Alright, drive shaft is all tight, seal is in and seated. I gotta clean this off, and now I can move on to the rear diff cover itself. Now, if you never did a rear diff change as far as the cover, you leave the top one on, loosen it, but leave it on, so when you pull this out, it don't fall and make a big splash and get you filthy. So you just want to get them all out, loosen the top one, but leave it in, and then pry the bottom out. Now guys, yes, it does come with a gasket. I use RTV, and the way I do it is I put RTV on this side, and I put RTV on this side, and you let it set to where it starts to crisp over, like not cured yet, but get there. I'm not done with this, so don't just ignore that. I just wanted to cover this while I was in it. But then I assemble it after it's almost to cure, and that allows it to seal better from my experience. That's what I've always been taught, and that's the way I've always did things, and that's the way it's always worked out for me. So I'm going to assemble it in a few minutes, and then we'll go from there. All the bolts are quarter head Allen. The washers will be stacked flat, lock washer on top, flat washer on bottom, so that that pushes and holds that. You can get this all cleaned up after you're done. You don't have to rush really with RTV, because like I said, I like to let it cure just a little bit before I put it together anyway. Then we'll hand turn these until they stop, and then these are tightened down to 5 foot-pounds. That's it. And then you lock the lock nut, I guess you would call it. And then we can add fluid. This does increase the capacity 1/2 ounce. So you do an quart. So you do 2.5 quarts and 4 ounces of friction modifier. Alright guys, so with the lock washers or lock nuts loose, you tighten these down by hand until it stops, and then you want to torque these down to 5 foot-pounds, and then you tighten these back down. Now I got the drain plug out. I'm going to add 2.5 quarts of fluid and 4 ounces of friction modifier. Seal it up, and we'll be done. This has had plenty of time to tack up, so it shouldn't leak. See how this thing goes. Alright guys, just like that, I got everything tightened down, everything torqued to spec. Nothing's leaking, got the fluid in. I'm fat and out of breath. It is hot. It started out nice and cool. Now my feet are baking in the sun out here. But at least it's not raining. I did make a mess. Go figure. But I got everything wiped down. So just one thing real quick. Got my ramps under the car. I have a jack stand. I have my jack. And I have wheel chocks behind each front tire. Do not take the chance of something like this falling on you. It will not be good. Let me get it down, and that's it. We're done. Other than cleaning up. I have quite a mess out here. I used the Lucas gear oil. I have good luck with that. Guys, anytime a gear oil, even Lucas, Royal Purple, AMSOIL, it says friction modifier not needed, add friction modifier. The first time when I first got this, I did a fluid change, and even though he told me everything was new, I wanted to be sure. So I took it all apart and looked. Everything was new, 373s, everything. But the fluid, I ran Royal Purple, and it said you did not need friction modifier. Well, a little bit down the road, I started getting like the wonk, 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 wonk kind of noise going around corners and stuff like that, and I thought the bearings was going bad, the axle bearings. I added friction modifier and the sound went away. It was just rear end chatter. So any of them that say that, please add the friction modifier. It'll save your rear end. But I used 2 quarts of Lucas, and then I had 1/2 quart of synthetic Valvoline laying around. From my understanding, you do not have to fill it up 2.5 quarts, but it allows you to fill it up to 2.5 to help keep the rear end cooler by adding 1/2 quart. But we'll see how all this goes as far as fluid levels and stuff, because I will check it in a little bit. After driving it for a while, I want to make sure none of this is going to leak. Another thing that was a little bit different about mine is when you hand tighten it till it stops. That's as far as that one would go. Most of the time I see them, they're level. My Fox Bodies was level, so I don't know. I'm not that worried about it, because the main function I wanted was where I can add it back here. All I did is stick a hose in here, hold the bottle up over here and squeeze it. It took a little bit, but it's a lot easier than trying to go from the front, from the side of the car, by the axle and fill it that way. In my opinion, it was much easier this way. And when I go to drain it, there's a drain plug right here. So that'll alleviate a lot of the headache. Alright guys, the car's back down on the ground. I have not drove it yet. I probably won't for a little bit because daughter's testing's over. I'll probably back it up, pull it in over there, just to make sure everything's fine, and clean up my mess under the car. If you are interested in winning one of these diff covers from Wholesale Deals, go in the comments. First of all, you got to be subscribed. I want you to comment anything but have a hashtag in the comment. Hashtag number 1, just a random hashtag at the end of your comment, whatever. But the hashtag is how I'm going to search. So just leave a random hashtag. I don't want everybody doing the same one, because if somebody don't watch the whole video and they look in the comments and they see everybody doing hashtag give me the cover or something like that, they're just going to copy. So I'm trying to see who watches my channel all the way through. If you are interested in winning that diff cover, leave a hashtag in your comment. I don't know why my phone is not. Okay. Second of all, if you are subbed to Jason Moore from my channel and you commented on his channel, Horseplay Sent Me, that's been in previous videos before. If you comment on his channel, Horseplay Sent Me, and send me the screenshot of that either in my Instagram at Horseplay Motoring, or I'll put my email address in the comments below, y'all get a second entry. Okay, so that's all for that part. So I'm still loving the Punisher center caps. It got so flipping hot out here. That asphalt is cooking. I'm wearing pants because I didn't want my legs to get burnt, but I'm still wearing what Darius calls my I think he called it toe thongs, my flip-flops anyway. Real quick, they didn't have the Ford friction modifier. I read a lot of good reviews on the Lube Guard one, and there's another one that has really good reviews. I can't remember the name of it, but this one actually came in 4 ounce, the other one came in 7 ounce. So instead of trying to figure out what was 3 ounces left in a tube, I just went with this one. So hopefully that goes well. Guys, that's pretty much all there is to it. Do not be afraid to do stuff like this, okay? Swear nobody comes down this road till I'm recording. Anyway, do not be afraid to do stuff like this, okay? If something's keeping you from driving your car, get out there and attempt to fix it. If you break it, well, it was already broke. So, I mean, you got to stop with the mentality of, I can't do it. Put in the mentality that I can do it. I'm going to do it. It's going to get done. Guys, I have 2 back surgeries, or 2 spinal surgeries, rather. I got a vertebrae in my neck replaced, a vertebrae in my lower back replaced. I've had 18 spinal injections. This hurts to get out here and get on this asphalt and do this, but I do it because first of all, I ain't paying somebody else to work on my car. Second of all, I kind of take pride in what I do, and I like doing it. And I wasn't sure about doing a pinion seal. All the ones I've ever did before, I had a lift, I had a bay where I could get down in. I didn't have to worry about laying down. I didn't have to worry about, I had the right tools. So this one, I just did the old school method of putting it back where it was. And you know, with that seal being backwards, that really threw me off. I've never seen that before in my life. There goes another Speed Racer little ratty car. Oh look, see? Never fails when I'm doing a video. This road gets so busy all of a sudden. I don't know what it is. But guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and catch you on the next video. Later.
I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with the 16 bars. I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with the 16 bars. I won't turn around, I won't turn around. No matter how far I go, I'll never come back.